We gather together this morning and center ourselves with the ringing of our peace bowl. In doing so, we recommit ourselves to hope for understanding, statesmanship, and compassion among all nations' leaders, leading the way to peace at home, among our neighbors, and in the world. And here at home, we acknowledge that these lands that we live on and that we love are the unceded, ancestral, and historical lands of the Yavapai people. Good morning, and welcome to all of you. It's good to see your smiling faces. We're happy to have you here at Granite Peak Unitarian Universalist Congregation, where love and community are at the heart of each of our services. I'm Bobby Bollinger, she, her pronouns, and I'm pleased to join Reverend Michelle this morning as your worship associate. This morning's service is around cultivating conflict. Even though it feels some days that we are drowning in it, conflict is a natural part of human relationships, found within friendships, families, the workplace, and in congregations. In her very timely message, Reverend Michelle will ask how we might tend to conflict in a way that helps us grow spiritually. So let us reflect on that as we listen to Lena's gathering music.
Good morning. I'm the Reverend Michelle LaGrave, the minister here at Granite Peak UU Congregation here in Prescott, Arizona. My pronouns are she, her. I am a queer, white, disabled woman, and those are some of the perspectives from which I speak today. I am so glad to see all of you here in the sanctuary, and imagine the rest of you who are out there on Zoom or on YouTube later in the week. Whoever you are, wherever you come from, wherever you find yourself on your life's journey, whichever your pronouns, whether you've walked in or rolled in or zoomed in, whomever you love, you are welcome here. You belong here.
We now join Unitarian Universalist congregations all over the world in the tradition of lighting our chalice. Our chalice lighter this morning is Charlotte Skuse. Today, we hear the words from the author Julianne Lepp, who is asking that we be open to unexpected answers. We seek our place in this world and the answers to our heart's deep questions. As we seek, may our hearts be open to unexpected answers. May the light of our chalice remind us that this is a community of warmth, of wisdom, and of welcoming multiple truths.
We come to religious community from many paths and with diverse needs. If you have come here seeking comfort, may your pain be soothed. If you have come here looking for answers, may you find new questions. If you have come here hoping to build a new way, may the path open before you. If you have come here seeking purpose, may your call be awakened. Let us join together either in body or spirit by singing hymn number 126, Come Thou Fount of Every Blessing.
Come thou fount of every blessing, tune your hearts to sing thy grace. Streams of mercy never ceasing, call for songs of loudest praise. While the hope of love perfection fills our hearts with joy and love, teach us ever to be faithful. May we still thy goodness prove. Come thou fount of every vision, lift our eyes to what may come. See the lion and the young lamb dwell together in thy home. Hear the cries of war fall silent, feel our love glow like the sun. When we all serve one another, then our heaven is begun. Come thou fount of inspiration, turn our lives to higher ways. Lift our gloomy desperation, show the promise of the day. Help us bind ourselves in union, help our hands to tell of love. With our aid, O fount of justice, earth be fair as heaven above.
Please join me in saying the words to our covenant. Love is the doctrine of this congregation. The quest for truth its sacrament, and service its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve others in community. Thus do we covenant together.
We will now take a few moments to make space for our morning offering. Our weekly offerings give us the opportunity to express our support for the programs and values embodied by this congregation. Additionally, each month of the year, we choose a community recipient for our Seeds of Support program. The month of May's recipient is the Launchpad Teen Center, which incidentally received our congregation's Tom Pettit Award last month. Half of this morning's plate will go to the Launchpad unless otherwise designated on your donation. Online donations may be received at any time on our website at prescottuu.org. The morning offering will now be taken. We acknowledge the generosity of spirit that you give to us through this offering. What is given in love is received with much gratitude. Amen, and blessed be.
I invite you into a time of meditation or prayer. Please find a place that is comfortable in your seats, whatever works well for you and your body. Find a way to connect yourself to the ground, to the earth, which nurtures and sustains us all. Close your eyes if you feel comfortable doing so, and take a deep breath in. Spirit of life and wonder, we come carrying questions we barely know how to ask. In a world that rewards quick answers and sharp certainty, something in us is still hungry for questions that leave us hanging and unknowing. Stir in us a living curiosity. When we meet what is unfamiliar, turn our fear into wondering. When we feel the pull to shut down, grant us one more honest question. May we notice anew what we have walked past 100 times. May we listen for stories we have never heard before. May we meet this day not as a problem to solve, but as a mystery to explore. And may this help us better know the mystery that is us. Amen, and blessed be. Let us go into the silence for a few moments together. Amen, and blessed be.
Each week, as we come together as a community, we individually bring joys and concerns that have been part of our daily lives. We will now take a few moments to recognize and honor those intensely personal feelings in an environment of support from this beloved community. If you have experienced a joy or a worry, a sadness or a celebration, a loss, or perhaps prolific gratitude, you are invited to come forward and drop a pebble from one of our dishes into our communal water to express your feelings in this caring and safe environment which recognizes our connection to one another. I will place the first pebble for Colette Carter, who is grieving the unexpected loss of her husband, Walt. May our joys and concerns, surrounded by this heartfelt ritual of our beloved community, be acknowledged here today. So may it be. Please join me in singing Spirit of Life. We have a reading this morning from Monica Guzman. As I packed up from one of my curiosity workshops this summer, a participant named Don came up to me. He was thrilled about what he had learned, but he was confused about one thing. You asked us to avoid judging each other so that we could stay curious, he told me. But my judgments are what help me stay curious. When he explained what he meant, it made total sense. He's sitting there during the exercise, listening to his partner lay out her opinions about gun regulations. A judgment pops up in his mind. She must hate the Second Amendment. But then he notices the judgment before it can poison his conversation, and he turns it into a question. Does she hate the Second Amendment? What would it say about it, or what would she say about it if I found a good way to ask? Listening to his judgments instead of pushing them away kept Don both curious and honest. It was a good lesson. Judgments about other people pop into our minds all the time. If we want to check who we imagine people to be with and what their reality is, they'll hint at the questions that could help.
So I titled this morning's service, this morning's message, Cultivating Conflict. That probably wasn't as clear as I meant it to be when I wrote it. So I'll clarify by saying I don't mean we need to grow conflict. I mean we need to tend to conflict. We need to wean it, prune it, pay attention to it, nurture it, not ignore it or avoid it. When I was in seminary, I took an entire class on congregational conflict. An entire semester. We went through, I don't know how many different researchers, authors, people who wrote about conflict, the best ways to address it, how many stages of conflict there are. I think in our class we settled on 5, but you can find anywhere from 4 through 9 on the, if you're researching different authors. I learned a lot about conflict, and I learned a lot about what people thought about conflict. Even so, the best advice I ever received about how to deal with conflict in a congregation or a hospital or anywhere came when I took CPE, which is Clinical Pastoral Education, and as a requirement for any UU ministers hoping to get fellowshipped in Unitarian Universalism. That's usually a hospital setting, but it can sometimes be a hospice setting or a couple other things. I was in a hospital setting. I had an on-site class and a supervisor in training, and we did a combination of education, classes, peer review, studying verbatims, all sorts of things. But the best piece came from my supervisor, Jo Claire. She told us to always remain warm and curious, or curious in a warm way, curious and warm. Curiosity combined with warmth. It is absolutely the best advice I have ever received. So I'm sharing it with you this morning. It really all boils down to that. So, another great piece that I learned, this was after seminary, I just stumbled across some research and bought a couple of books on it, is the number one source of conflict in congregations. Does anyone know what it is? I'm going to repeat it, answers into the microphone for those people who are on Zoom. I've heard money and what else? Music, change, who the minister is, sermon topics. Those are all great sources of conflict, but they're not the number one. What was it? People.
Building a new sanctuary.
Building a new sanctuary. We might know something about that here, right? Ego. I didn't hear it, which actually brings me to the number one. The number one source of conflict in congregations is people not hearing what was actually said. When we don't hear the entire sentence, if there's a word that's a blank here or there, we fill it in with what makes sense to us or what we think we heard, which can be, at best, a source of humorous confusion, and at worst, it can destroy relationships. So remaining curious, if we hear something that doesn't make sense or sounds too horrible to be true or is supremely shocking, and then asking about it is a good tactic. So I have an exercise to try this out just for fun. So I'm going to give you a misheard song lyric, and you tell me if you think you know what the lyric was really supposed to be. There is a bathroom on the right. Any guesses? Russ.
Bad mood on the rise.
There is a bad moon on the rise. Nothing to do with bathrooms. There's nothing 100 men on Mars could ever do. Yes, there's nothing 100 men or more could ever do, and it's from Africa. This one is one where you could clearly get somebody in trouble. Jeremy's smoking grass today. Yes, Jeremy spoke in class today. From Jeremy. We want Jeremy to speak in class today. We do not want him to be smoking grass today. This one is my personal favorite, and if you don't know, a vicar is a minister in England. Let me just staple the vicar. Let me just state for the record, from We Are Family. Then I saw her face. Now I'm gonna leave her. Then I saw her face. Now I'm a believer. You can call me Green Bean. You can call me Queen Bee from Royals. See, I'm getting a little sense of what music you do and do not listen to here. This is another one of my favorites. Let's pee in the corner. That's me in the corner from Losing My Religion. Another one where you could get yourself in trouble. Excuse me while I kiss this guy. Excuse me while I kiss the sky from Purple Haze. I can see clearly now. Lorraine is gone. I can see clearly now the rain is gone. And this is the last one. It was hard to pick. It doesn't make a difference if we're naked or not. It doesn't make a difference if we make it or not. From Living on a Prayer. So these are song lyrics, but you can imagine that you're out there in the sanctuary after the service is over and it's kind of noisy. People are all talking and excited and getting ready to go to social hour, or you're over there in social hour and there's lots of background noise and you think you heard something and oh my gosh, you can't believe what you just heard. It might not be what actually was said. So what I want to do, what I want to say, is that it is normal to have conflicts. There is nothing wrong with having conflicts. It's human. It's okay. It's not that big a deal. You probably don't believe me yet, because it's going to take a lot of practice, all right? It's not necessarily normal to have level 5 conflicts where we're at all-out war. But the everyday little conflicts, of course, we're at least 150 or more different people, so we probably have at least 300 different opinions. So, of course, we're going to have conflict. And it's okay to not agree about every little thing. What's important is how we take care of conflict. That we see conflict as a place for community care. A place for caring about each other, a place for being curious, for exploring with curiosity, and doing so in a warm and hopefully non-judgmental way, right? I care about you, so I am curious if what you just said is really what you meant to say, if it's really what you actually said, if you could elaborate on it a little bit more, if I could understand your perspective better, it might make a little more sense to me, and it might open myself to think about whatever situation or conflict is brewing differently. By the way, in my personal experience, the number one other than not hearing correctly, source of conflict in a congregation, is the color of the rug. Every single congregation I have been in has had disagreements about the color of the rug. Which, in the grand scheme of things, we're living in a world with crumbling democracy, rising authoritarianism, all sorts of awful. And sometimes maybe we distract ourselves from that by immersing ourselves in little things that maybe we have a chance of controlling, like the color of the rug. So it's okay. It's okay to have conflict. It's okay to not have, and it's okay to have judgment. We all make judgments. We all make assessments. What's not necessarily okay is for those to immediately come out of our heads, out of our voices, and be expressed out loud. But when we're in a conversation, when we're in a meeting, when we're finding ourselves disagreeing, getting angry, feeling resentful, what we can do is pause and be curious about the other person's perspective, but also about what's going on for ourselves, what's going on inside our heads. There's a great little story called The Cookie Thief. Have any of you heard it before? It's about this woman who is waiting in the airport to get on her plane, and she's sitting next to this guy. And she's sitting there eating her cookies. And every so often, he'd also take a cookie and eat it, and she'd take a cookie and eat it. And the whole situation felt so uncomfortable to her. She could feel the tension. But they both continued to keep eating the cookies until they were all gone. And she kept making all these judgments in her head. Oh my gosh, this guy is so rude. I can't believe how he's just eating my cookies. I didn't even invite him to share my cookies with me. What is up with this guy? So then, anyways, the cookies are gone, the plane boards, she gets on the plane, settles herself in the seat, opens her bag, and finds her own bag of unopened cookies. And it turns out she was eating his bag of cookies. So, it's always important to look at our own behavior, our own thoughts, our own judgments. What is my role in this conflict? What could I have said differently? What can I clarify better? Not for the purpose of winning an argument or winning a conflict or getting the color of the rug that you really want to have in the sanctuary, but for understanding each other's perspectives. So I want to share one more story before we close for today. And you may read this again, I don't know. I was invited to contribute some stories to a book on disability that Skinner House is publishing this summer. So you're getting a little preview here from one of the stories. At the end of an interim ministry, a person came up to me at the end of a worship service, one of the last worship services. She said something to me along these lines, that she had a confession to make, that she had judged me superficially at first, that she was wrong to do so, and that she was grateful for my ministry, and that I would never fully know how much my ministry had affected her. I didn't ask her what she had judged me on, how she had judged me. It really didn't matter. And since without her confession, I never would have even known that she had judged me, I didn't really feel like I had anything to forgive. But what I do know is this. We are Unitarian Universalists, and redemption is always possible. May it always be so. Amen, and blessed be. Let us close our time this morning together by singing hymn number 95 with much gratitude for Russell leading us in song. There is more love somewhere.
There is more love somewhere. There is more love somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more love somewhere. There is more hope somewhere. There is more hope somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more hope somewhere. There is more peace somewhere. There is more peace somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more peace somewhere. There is more joy somewhere. There is more joy somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more joy somewhere.
Please join me in the words of extinguishing our chalice, and thank you, Charlotte. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
May your wonder be bigger than your fear. May questions lead you gently into truth, not control. May you meet the unknown with wide eyes and let your spirit be surprised. Let us go now in love. Amen, and blessed be.